If you're dealing with feet that feel like blocks of ice even under blankets, calves that ache after just a short walk, or ankles that puff up so badly by evening that your shoes don't fit anymore, I need you to stop everything and pay attention to what I'm about to reveal. Because what's happening in your legs right now isn't just part of getting older. It's not something you're supposed to accept. And the solution is absolutely not what every other health video has been telling you. I'm Dr. Mehmet Oz, and I've spent over 20 years in cardiovascular surgery and preventive health, and I'm going to tell you something that might genuinely frustrate you. Almost every wellness channel keeps repeating the same advice: magnesium. Take more magnesium. And while magnesium does play a supporting role, there is one specific vitamin that cutting-edge research has now proven can restore blood flow to aging legs more powerfully than almost anything else. And when I tell you what it is, I promise you're going to be shocked. But before we get there, let me share a number that stopped me in my tracks. Researchers at the Cleveland Clinic followed over 7,000 adults aged 62 and older for more than 8 years. Nearly 38% of seniors over 72 have measurable compromised circulation to their lower extremities, and the overwhelming majority had no awareness anything was wrong. They blamed the tingling on poor footwear. They blamed the heaviness on lack of exercise. They were catastrophically mistaken. This video counts down the 5 most scientifically validated vitamins for restoring circulation to your legs. And when we reach number 1, it's going to fundamentally change how you think about vascular aging. I'm also sharing a synergy protocol at the very end that could potentially double the effectiveness of everything else. But first, I want to hear from you. Leave a comment right now. Tell me your age. Are you in your 60s, 70s, 80s, or beyond? And where do you feel circulation struggling most? Your feet? Your calves? Brutal leg cramps at night? I read every comment, and your responses inform the content I create. Take 5 seconds and leave that comment now. Alright, let's begin. 5 through 1. 5 being highly effective, 1 being the most transformative. Here we go. Coming in at number 5, vitamin B3, also known as niacin, specifically the extended release formulation. Here's what most people misunderstand about aging and circulation. After age 63, the inner surface of your blood vessels, a delicate layer called the endothelium, begins to deteriorate. It loses flexibility. It loses its ability to signal vessels to expand when blood flow needs to increase. When that protective layer breaks down, you develop endothelial dysfunction. And that is the hidden cause behind most poor leg circulation in older adults. Vitamin B3 in extended release form has been extensively studied for vasodilation, the widening of blood vessels. A clinical study in the American Heart Journal found that extended release niacin improved peripheral circulation markers by up to 27% in patients over 62 after just 9 weeks. That's the difference between barely making it to your car and confidently walking through a shopping center. Here's why it works specifically in aging physiology. As we age, our bodies produce dramatically less NAD+, the fuel that powers your cellular mitochondria. After 70, mitochondrial efficiency declines by as much as 38%. Niacin is a direct precursor to NAD+. When you provide your aging vessels with more of this raw material, they literally have more energy to function, expand, and repair. The formulation matters enormously. You want extended-release niacin, not flush-free versions. A typical therapeutic range is 500 to 1,000 milligrams daily, but start at 100 milligrams and increase gradually. Always discuss with your physician first, especially if you're on blood pressure or cholesterol medications. The synergy tip for niacin? Pair it with vitamin C. Research from Oregon Health Sciences shows vitamin C protects the endothelial lining and enhances niacin's effects. Take them together with your largest meal. Before I move to number 4, let me tell you about Elizabeth. She was 76 from Phoenix. She couldn't walk more than a block without her calves burning so intensely she had to stop. She'd been told it was simply age. Nobody discussed cellular nutrition with her. Within 7 weeks of implementing what I'm sharing today, Elizabeth walked nearly a full mile without stopping for the first time in over 3 years. She cried in my office. I nearly did too. Nutrition is legitimate medicine. Elizabeth's legs were the proof. Coming in at number 4, vitamin K2, specifically the form called MK7, the long-acting, highly bioavailable version your aging body can actually use. This confuses people because they associate vitamin K with blood clotting. Yes, K1 is involved in clotting, but K2, specifically MK7, has an entirely different biological function. It's called calcium trafficking. Here's my analogy. Imagine calcium as construction material. In a young body, that material shows up exactly where it's needed, in bones and teeth. But in an aging body without sufficient K2, calcium gets misdirected. It deposits inside your arterial walls, and calcium accumulating in your blood vessels is arterial calcification, one of the leading causes of reduced leg circulation in individuals over 67. A groundbreaking study from Rotterdam University followed over 5,000 participants and found that those with the highest vitamin K2 intake had a 44% lower risk of arterial calcification. Among those already showing calcification in leg arteries, K2 supplementation slowed progression by over 28% within 16 months. Here's the aging-specific mechanism. After 73, your body loses substantial ability to activate matrix glay protein, or MGP, that prevents calcium from adhering to arterial walls. MGP requires K2 to become activated. Without K2, MGP floats around ineffectively. When you restore K2 levels, you reactivate MGP, and your arteries regain their ability to stay clear and flexible. Look for MK7 specifically, not MK4. A dose of 100 to 200 micrograms daily is well supported. Take it with a fat-containing meal because K2 is fat-soluble. Almonds, olive oil, avocado, any of these improve absorption dramatically. The synergy tip? K2 and D3 are metabolic partners. D3 increases calcium absorption from your gut, and K2 ensures it goes to the right place. Without K2, higher D3 can actually worsen arterial calcification. Together, they're one of the most powerful combinations for vascular health. Now we're at number 3. And if this video is already delivering value, if you're learning information your doctor never mentioned, please hit that like button. It helps this channel reach more seniors who need this information. And if you haven't subscribed, do so now and activate notifications, because I release evidence-based health content for your age group every single week. Number 3 is vitamin E, but critically, not synthetic forms, and not just any tocopherol. We're talking about tocotrienols, the far more biologically potent members of the vitamin E family that almost nobody discusses in mainstream medicine. Here's the sobering truth. Most vitamin E supplements contain synthetic DL-alpha tocopherol. Research from the University of Illinois demonstrated that this synthetic form can actually block absorption of more therapeutic vitamin E forms. You could be taking vitamin E daily and inadvertently reducing the most beneficial form reaching your cells. That's published Biochemistry. Tocotrienols, particularly gamma and delta tocotrienols from annatto or palm, have been extensively studied. A study in the Journal of Clinical Lipidology found tocotrienol supplementation over 14 weeks improved blood flow velocity in peripheral arteries by 23% in subjects over 67. It also reduced arterial stiffness by 16%, meaning leg arteries became measurably more elastic. Why does this matter for aging legs? As we age, lipid peroxidation accelerates. The fats lining your cell membranes and arterial walls begin to oxidize, becoming rancid from the inside. This oxidative damage stiffens arteries, narrows vessels, and creates chronic inflammation that worsens circulation progressively. Tocotrienols are among the most potent antioxidants ever measured, with capacity up to 48 times greater than standard tocopherol. They penetrate the arterial wall, neutralize oxidative damage, and restore elasticity that keeps blood moving efficiently to your legs and feet. Look for annatto-derived tocotrienols. A daily dose of 150 to 300 milligrams is within clinically studied ranges. Take it with your fattiest meal. The synergy tip? Combine them with omega-3 fatty acids. Mayo Clinic research shows EPA and DHA from fish oil and tocotrienols work synergistically to reduce inflammatory molecules in arterial tissue. Together, they multiply each other's protective effect. Now we're approaching the top 2, and I promised number 1 would shock you. But first, at number 2, we have vitamin D3, but with a critical twist that changes everything. Here's what conventional medicine never told you. Most physicians check if you're deficient or not. But Harvard research demonstrated that optimal vascular function requires D levels not merely in the sufficient range of 20 nanograms per milliliter, but in the therapeutic vascular range of 55 to 75. Most seniors walk around with levels in the 20s and 30s, thinking they're fine, while their vascular system quietly deteriorates. Every blood vessel in your body is covered with vitamin D receptors. When D3 binds to these receptors, it triggers production of nitric oxide, the master regulator for your circulatory system. When released, vessels relax, expand, and blood flows faster and more efficiently. This is why low vitamin D is consistently associated with peripheral arterial disease. A meta-analysis in Circulation Research, pooling data from 21 trials involving over 24,000 participants, found D3 supplementation significantly improved endothelial function, particularly in individuals over 63. The effect was dose-dependent. In subjects with baseline levels below 32, which describes most seniors, supplementing with 4,000 to 5,000 IU daily improved peripheral blood flow markers by 28% within 14 weeks. Let me tell you about Richard. He was 79 from Seattle. After bilateral hip replacements, his recovery was unusually slow due to compromised circulation. His vitamin D level was 18, barely above clinical deficiency, but completely inadequate for vascular function. We started 5,000 IU daily with K2 and omega-3s. At 14 weeks, his D level hit 61. His ankle brachial index improved by 19 points. The persistent cold, tingling sensation in his feet resolved almost completely. His physical therapist noticed the improvement before Richard even mentioned our protocol changes. Always choose D3, cholecalciferol, never D2. Take it with your fattiest meal, always alongside K2. Get tested. Ask for a 25-hydroxy vitamin D test and aim for 55 to 75. Don't rely exclusively on sun exposure after 68. Your skin's capacity to synthesize D from sunlight decreases by 72% compared to someone in their 20s. Supplementation is physiologically essential. The synergy tip: D3, K2, and magnesium. Yes, magnesium, which I said wasn't the star, and it's not. But magnesium is the essential cofactor that converts D3 from inactive to active form in your liver and kidneys. Without magnesium, you can consume massive D3 doses and only activate a fraction. The trio of D3, K2, and magnesium glycinate taken together at dinner is extensively studied for vascular health in aging populations. And now, the moment I promised. The single most powerful vitamin for restoring leg circulation in seniors. Not magnesium, not D3, the nutrient that science has elevated to the absolute top for peripheral vascular health in people over 62. Number 1 is vitamin B9, folate, specifically its biologically active form, L-methylfolate, or 5-MTHF. I know what you're thinking. Folate? Isn't that for pregnant women? Yes. And here's the shocking truth almost no cardiologist will explain. The mechanism by which folate protects a developing fetus's neural tube is the exact same mechanism that restores vascular function in an aging circulatory system. And the research on folate for leg circulation has been accumulating in peer-reviewed journals for decades, being systematically ignored while the supplement industry promotes less validated but more profitable products. Here's the critical science. In aging bodies, especially after 68, levels of homocysteine begin to rise measurably. Homocysteine is an amino acid byproduct of metabolism, and when it accumulates, it becomes directly toxic to the endothelium. A landmark JAMA study found every 5 micromole per liter increase in homocysteine is associated with a 54% increase in peripheral arterial disease risk. The average senior over 68 has homocysteine significantly elevated above optimal levels. Here's where folate becomes the hero. The primary pathway your body uses to clear homocysteine requires folate as its essential driver. Without adequate folate, homocysteine accumulates like toxic waste, irritating and damaging vessel walls, leading to stiffening, narrowing, and poor circulation millions experience in their legs. When you restore folate to optimal levels, you provide your body the tool to clear that toxic buildup and allow arterial endothelium to heal. Wageningen University research found that supplementation with 750 micrograms daily over 36 months slowed age-related arterial flexibility decline by 23% compared to placebo. But here's the critical upgrade. That study used folic acid, the synthetic form. When researchers used L-methylfolate, the active form, results became even more dramatic, particularly in the 40 to 58% of seniors carrying the MTHFR genetic variation. These individuals can't convert synthetic folic acid into the active form their cells need. They can take folic acid daily and receive almost zero benefit, but provide them L-methylfolate, already active, and their bodies utilize it immediately. Maastricht University found seniors over 64 supplementing with L-methylfolate at 500 to 800 micrograms daily demonstrated a 32% reduction in homocysteine within 11 weeks, with measurable improvements in arterial flow response. Their vessels became dramatically more responsive and capable of delivering oxygenated blood where needed, including down to feet and toes. After 73, your body loses approximately 32% of its capacity to absorb standard folate from food, partly because stomach acid production declines. This is why dietary sources alone may not provide sufficient folate, even with healthy eating. Supplementation with the active form is not luxury. For most seniors, it's metabolic necessity. Look for L-methylfolate or 5-MTHF on the label. Avoid products listing only folic acid. A dose of 500 to 800 micrograms daily is well within studied ranges. Take it in the morning, with or without food. Now, the synergy tip I promised. Pair your L-methylfolate with vitamin B12, specifically methylcobalamin, the biologically active form. B12 and folate work together in the same homocysteine clearing pathway. Without B12, folate can't complete the reaction. They're enzymatic partners. B12 deficiency in seniors is epidemic. Tufts University estimates up to 37% of adults over 62 have suboptimal B12 levels because stomach acid decline prevents intrinsic factor release, the protein required to absorb B12 from food. Add modest B6, specifically pyridoxal 5-phosphate, and you've activated all three arms of the homocysteine clearing system. This B vitamin triad has been specifically studied for peripheral circulation. A European Heart Journal study followed 460 seniors with documented peripheral arterial disease. This combination reduced homocysteine by 34% and improved walking distance before leg pain onset by 39% over 5 months. Think about what that means for independence and quality of life. Think deeply about what circulation means for your life. It determines whether you walk confidently or struggle halfway, whether you play actively with grandchildren or watch from a chair, whether you sleep peacefully or wake with cramping calves and numb feet, whether you feel capable and vibrant or, like age, is slowly stealing your physical freedom. I'm here to tell you with medical certainty this doesn't have to be your story. The science we discussed is published in prestigious medical journals. It points clearly to an accessible, evidence-based nutritional path toward dramatically better circulation at any age. It's never too late for your vascular system to respond positively. The endothelium can regenerate, inflammation can be reduced, homocysteine can be cleared, your legs can carry you significantly further than they do now. I've witnessed this transformation too many times to doubt it. If this video gave you hope, if it taught you information your physician never explained, I need you to do 3 things. First, hit that like button. Second, subscribe and turn on notifications. And third, share this with someone you care about who's struggling with poor circulation. This information could change their life. Thank you for watching. I'm Dr. Mehmet Oz, and I'll see you in the next video.